I'm Nicolas Bornozis of Capital Link, and I would like to welcome you to the 5th annual Capital Link Cyprus Shipping Forum. We are very proud that every year we have been hosting a significant event in Limassol as a physical event. Given the circumstances this year, we could not have it as a physical event, and therefore we have taken advantage of what technology is offering us to connect with a global audience and present Cyprus and its strategic and competitive advantages. So today's forum, we have adapted it to a new motto, and we are featuring industry leaders from Cyprus, maritime leaders, who are addressing, as I mentioned, an international audience, presenting the competitive and strategic advantages of Cyprus as a maritime and operational hub. We are delighted to see the response we have. I'd like to thank, of course, the Deputy Ministry for its continued support, the Ship Owners Union of Cyprus, the various organizations that are supporting the forum, including the Cyprus Shipping Chamber, and everyone who is participating to make this event a great success. We are honored that for a 5th year in a row, Mr. George Tsavliris is the chairman of our forum. I would like to welcome him. I would like to thank him and turn it over the floor to him. And of course, we have our Deputy Minister, Mr. Demetriades, with us, and George will introduce him. George, please take over, and thank you again.
Good morning, everybody. And Nico, Kalimera, once more. And first, I'd like to say that I'm honored by the fact that you've actually reappointed me to be a chairman for this year as well, which is my 5th consecutive year. I don't know whether you do it because of my capabilities or because of the fact that I think out of the box, and perhaps sometimes I appear to be a bit disruptive with the problems, because sometimes I find that with conferences, it's an ideal opportunity not to just say what you have to say, but to say things which would give the right to the ability for the audience to be able to participate, think out of the box, maintain their lateral thinking with a view of being able to resolve all the issues and problems which we're facing in the shipping market. I'm also honored by the fact that Mr. Vassilios Demetriades is joining us, because I happen to have the privilege of knowing him for many years before when he was in Brussels. So we've already exchanged our views. And I think that Cyprus should be proud of the fact that they continue to have a very, very dynamic person in the chair as Deputy Chairman or Deputy Minister of the Shipping, proactive, a guy who thinks out of the box, youthful thinking, and someone who literally was contributing towards the great success which Cyprus has maintained over the years. As you probably appreciate, I've been involved with Cyprus for maybe over a quarter of a century, one reason or the other, either because we happen to be one of the first shipping companies to fly the Cyprus flag, and then with my involvement with the Environmental Association, CIMEPA, and that continued with the idea of being involved with the Ship Owners Union, and then basically all the shipping activities in Cyprus. And all I can say is that I'm actually honored and thrilled by the fact that the island has accepted me almost as a citizen, because when I go to Cyprus now, I don't really, I don't go to the airport passport control as a visitor. I go as if I'm my own home ground. And I say this not to be over-flattering, but I think that Cyprus is an island that take into account their past, the grievances which they've been through, the upheavals, the problems, the political issues. I think it's absolutely a miracle that they've maintained their posture, their dignity, their loyalty, and their patriotism to be able to address all issues correctly and objectively, but without taking aside the element of passion. We are all passionate people, and that's why I feel that we've got an extra benefit and a potential for being successful. The conference today, we have many issues we're going to discuss. I'm not going to go into the coronavirus issue about the upheaval of that problem, because you probably hear it every day. But what I want to highlight is the fact that I like to place emphasis on the fact that besides disruptions it's caused in our own personal lives, it's affected over 750,000 crew members. And as you know, shipping is the main feature which actually controls and transports 90% of world trade. So basically, as Demetriades mentioned years ago, that half the world would starve without shipping and half the world would freeze. Now, shipping will not take place without the involvement and the participation of crew members, who, as I mentioned earlier, they've been through a tremendous amount of upheaval in not being able to disembark from ships, which they've invested on and been there to offer their work, or not being able to leave their homes to join ships because of lack of transportation, issues with vaccinations, and all kind of other governmental and borderline problems we find in other countries. We've got to give tribute and take the opportunity at this conference to honor the seamen who've actually given their life to participating and being crucial members of our community. During the conference, we're going to refer to one of the main issues we're having as well is the issue about the environmental issues, which is a bit of a volatile topic because there's been a certain amount of inconsistencies and a bit of what I call a race involved, where the shipping the people who actually run the shipping regulations don't appreciate the fact that the ship owners may be on the fact of actually having the responsibility of maintaining the protection of the environment and improving our fuels. But we cannot forget the fact, ladies and gentlemen, that ships are built by shipbuilders and marine engine manufacturers. And quite frankly, it's up to them to be able to provide the right machinery to be able to accommodate and comply with regulations. And in turn, the oil companies with their refineries and their production of fuel, which they are actually responsible for producing the fuel required to produce the ships, which the ships are running on. The ship owner, at the end of the day, is an operator. He's part of the equation, but as I say, it's part of the equation. And I think one issue which I like to emphasize is that we have to embrace this whole issue by being holistic in our approach and trying to also maintain the fact that Rome cannot be built overnight. It all needs time. There's nobody who's creating any delayed tactics. It's a matter of complying with what we can do rather than what is being obliged to do, which can be sometimes beyond the restraints of our ability. On that note, I'd like to thank you very much for hearing me. I want to make just a few remarks to maintain or to emphasize that I maintain my enthusiasm to participate in the Capital Link, which I also feel that it's one of the most important conferences which we've attended worldwide. As I say, because of the dynamics involved, because of the passion of the organizers, because of the synergy, and the fact that we have the ability, which is a rarity these days, of being able to say what we mean and mean what we say. Now, on that note, I'd like to thank you all very, very much. I think I'm going to pause now because the organizer is going to produce a video. And then after the video, I'll be introducing the Deputy Minister, Mr. Vassilios Demetriades, to make his forward presentation. Thank you.
George, if you allow me before the video to add my thanks, I'd like to thank the Deputy Minister for his support and his insight and for his confidence allowing us to put this conference together. I would like to thank also, of course, yourself, George, for being the chairman for a 5th year in a row. I would like to thank the Cyprus Union of Ship Owners for being the lead sponsor for the 5th year in a row. And I would like to thank all the other sponsors whose financial support has allowed us to make this conference a success. And of course, I'd like to thank the Capital Link staff because we are running this conference now out of New York. So I have a very dedicated and capable staff, and I would like to thank them for this. And now let's play the video. And again, thank you to all the sponsors very much.
Never before has such a small country evolved into a maritime cluster powerhouse as Cyprus has. Pioneering is at its heart, and in the face of constant global change, Cyprus shipping is prepared to lead the way. With a national strategy for the shipping sector, evaluating the challenges and adjusting its course, Cyprus is developing a vision for a resilient, more competitive, and sustainable national shipping cluster. With a holistic approach to maritime policies and a sustainable maritime spatial planning, Cyprus focuses on strengthening the blue economy to achieve further growth. Our part is significant in constructing proposals for the formulation of global and European shipping policies. We are committed to promoting Cyprus shipping by playing a leading role in global maritime affairs and creating strong international relations and alliances. With incentives to reward cleaner vessels that demonstrate reduced emissions, we want to motivate and support ship owners on their pathway to decarbonisation. With the adoption of a green model to all our operations, we are investing in maritime research and innovation for a more environmentally sustainable and more robust shipping sector. With our unwavering commitment to protect seafarers, we continue to respond supportively, proactively, and efficiently in times of adversity. During the COVID-19 crisis, we recognized immediately the seafarers' pivotal role in international trade and facilitated crew changes and reparation, and assumed the initiative in tabling a proposal for a global seafarer vaccination program. Digital transformation through integrated information technologies is embraced by our infrastructure and operations, preparing the ground for fully automated and autonomous vessels, better maintenance, and improved safety regulations. With the promotion of paperless initiatives, we are working towards creating a one-stop shop concept, increasing efficiency of our services for both citizens and the shipping industry. With constant innovation, we make things more efficient, more advanced, but less complicated, more automated, but without the loss of human touch. Cyprus shipping is here. More competitive, more extroverted, more adaptable, more sustainable than ever. Making a positive difference for Cyprus and the global maritime scene.
Ladies and gentlemen, on that note, having just seen the fascinating video which has been prepared for our conference, I have the great honor of requesting our Deputy Minister, Mr. Vassilios Demetriades, to take the floor and give his opening speech. Thank you very much, Vassilios. Thank you.
Dear George, thank you very much for your introduction. Dear viewers, allow me first to thank Nicolas and the Capital Link for once again organizing this very important event to highlight the developments of Cyprus shipping, and also to thank the sponsor associations, the participate companies, and all the panelists that will today exchange views and discuss about the challenges, the developments of global, European, and also Cyprus national shipping for Cyprus, which is very important for us. So allow me first to share with you some thoughts. What I've been saying is that the Cyprus shipping for the last 20, 30 years, we've been branding Cyprus shipping in many ways. I remember 20 years ago, the way we were branding Cyprus, it was a quality flag and a maritime center. Then we are saying it's not just a quality flag and center, is a quality maritime cluster. But now is the time to mention that we are a quality maritime cluster with a vision. And I'll explain why. And why we need a vision. Basically, it's important to explore the growth potential of Cyprus shipping to the maximum, to be proactive, to work for a resilient, more competitive, more efficient, more strong, and ways to be more actively contributing for a positive change to global shipping. This is how we would like Cyprus shipping to be, in order to be able to build on its strong capabilities, but also to lead in the global and European maritime scene. And I will explain how we will endeavor to do that, and we will do it together with you. We consider that we need, for the new challenges, the new phase of shipping, the new norm that we've been experiencing the last couple of months with the pandemic, that the shipping sector has to be injected with three elements: sustainability, extrovert, adaptability. So we center all this to one word, which is C: sustainable, extrovert, adaptable. For sustainability, I mean, everybody could understand the importance of greening the sector, the importance of becoming more resilient and competitive, and the importance of having in mind the social welfare and improving the employment opportunities for the sector. Adaptability, it goes without saying that with the threats and challenges that the sector is currently facing, we need to be adaptable to this change and also to be proactive. And on this new approach for our strategic vision, we are adding a new word, and I think it's a new term for the shipping word, which is extrovert. We do believe that the sector needs to become more extroverted, and I will explain why. George rightly mentioned two key words, two key phrases: the outside of the box thinking, and of course, the holistic approach. Let me also add that, and he referred also to the threats, the challenges, especially on the issue of decarbonization. So the reason we would like to become more extroverted is in order to be able to communicate more effectively the specificities of the sector, the global character of the sector, to those that they regulate for shipping and they are not very much aware about the specificities of the sector. So I feel responsible, coming also from Brussels, the need to bridge the gap between the shipping sector and the NGOs, the regulators that they are responsible for climate change, because it's important for us to communicate to them how the sector works, what is considered as a realistic approach for a meaningful contribution of the shipping to climate change, but at the same time to give the opportunity to them to signal to us their priorities, how they see things. Only if we bridge this gap, we will be able to have regulatory framework that we will be able to absorb, we will be able to comply. Otherwise, they will be regulating for us without us. So we are trying to change this approach to come closer. I was last week in a place that I know best. I was in Brussels. I made a lot of contacts with NGOs, with MEPs, and of course with the commissioner and with the advisor of the president of the Commission for Climate Change. And I must tell you that it's very important to build credibility, because we would like Cyprus to be a credible partner. We would like Cyprus to deliver the right message for shipping, because I do believe that Cyprus has the richness of expertise to contribute to a positive change, both for European shipping, but also for global shipping. And we are determined and willing to work constructively to improve any legislative initiative that will be tabled by Brussels in the forthcoming weeks. So we are ready for that, together with our partners, the Cyprus Union of Shipowners, the Cyprus Shipping Chamber, and even with the global shipping community, to work together for a workable solution, because we do feel responsible to contribute for climate change, but we have to do it in a realistic way and to strike a balance. between contributing to climate change, but also trying to maintain our competitiveness, because shipping for Cyprus and for Europe is a strategic asset, and it should remain like this. So that's why we have to be more extroverted. We should feel responsible to improve the image of the sector at global and also at EU level. And you will see a number of initiatives from Cyprus in the forthcoming weeks and months towards that direction. This is already evident on the way we have approached the pandemic, the way we have facilitated crew changes and the repatriation of seafarers. And today I'm ready to announce that Cyprus, as of next week, it will be able to vaccinate all the seafarers on board Cyprus flagships and ships calling in Cyprus, and they are connected to Cyprus, managed in Cyprus, or they have a connection with Cyprus in the broader sense. You will hear more this afternoon in the session about this, the social welfare about this, but today is the first time that I'm announcing that for next week, we will present the whole procedure of how we are going to vaccinate all seafarers working on board Cyprus flagship, because for us, a ship owner, an operator that trusts Cyprus, is for us a partner and an ambassador. And we want to stand and support every challenge that the sector is facing. This is something for me that is on top of my priorities. So what I would like also to signal is that in Cyprus, you all know that we have a very competitive fiscal regime, an approved tonnage tax system, which we are further strengthening. We have recently strengthened with green tax incentives. The reason we are doing that is, as George said in his introduction, the decarbonization path will not happen overnight. We do acknowledge that it will take time, it's difficult, and we would like to reward, to give an incentive to the ship owners that they demonstrate in their operations considerable emission reductions. So we have introduced green tax incentives. I think we are among one of the very few maritime nations globally that is doing that, showing our commitment to the green transformation, but showing that we are ready to support and reward our operators, our ship owners, if they demonstrate considerable emission reductions. You will hear more on this on the panel about decarbonization. So what we are doing with our strategy, we are now in a consultation phase in order to hear the views of the global shipping community, of our Cyprus shipping community, and of course of the civil society, what they expect from us, what they want from us to change, to be more effective, more efficient, more sustainable, more adaptable. So in a true Cyprus way, we have opened our doors to listen. We want to be good listeners, to hear complaints, views, ideas, to become better, to serve more effectively the shipping industry. And for this reason, there is a landing page on the web, which is www.cyshippingstrategy.com, where you can still visit, and it's going to be available till the end of this month. We have launched this consultation in 3 phases, but all the 3 phases are still available. First phase on the environmental sustainability of the sector, second phase on digitalization, third phase on social welfare and piracy, issues that are challenges and high on the agenda of the global shipping community. We want to hear from you in order to formulate a strategic vision that will fit for purpose. So we want to be proactive and we want to inject the global shipping agenda and the European shipping agenda, but also our national policy with initiatives, with criteria, with a legislative framework that will make Cyprus shipping resilient, more competitive, safer, and of course, to ensure that it has a bright future. So what is important also to mention is that towards this journey, we are also trying, because the Shipping Deputy Ministry is rather new, it's only 3 years in operation. We are trying to restructure our organization in order to be more effective, in order to allocate our resources more efficiently to serve the shipping industry. And at the same time, we are moving forward in order to create the conditions for one-stop shop. So on our competitive advantage and our fiscal incentives with the approved tonnage tax regime that we already enjoy by the European Commission, we have recently added the green tax incentives. On the fast service, which is widely acknowledged that we provide, we will turn most, if not all, our services to one-stop shop digitalized. And of course, we are not going to lose our human face on that, but we will increase our efficiency. And of course, we would like to maintain our very good safety record, and you will see how we are going to do it also within our strategy. And I would like to add 2 more extra things on our competitive advantages. The one is the one that I already described. I want Cyprus to lead in IMO, in the EU, with ideas, proposals. You've seen recently the global vaccination program that we have presented, and it was adopted in the form of an ILO resolution. We were the only country worldwide that propose something practicable and realistic for seafarers. You will see a lot of these initiatives in the near future. So we are adding this element that Cyprus is determined to lead and contribute to a global change. That's why we are asking your opinions on that. And second, I like also to add the element of expertise and specialization. We do have the richness of expertise. Our team here is well advanced and trained to serve the shipping industry, but you will soon see initiatives from our side, specialization on new technologies or new alternative fuels, because we take the messages, the way the shipping industry, the way the technology is developing, so we will be able to serve new ships, new technological developments, alternative fuels. So Cyprus is here, as you've seen in the video, is more sustainable, more extroverted, more adaptable, and we would like to make this change together with you. And one last thing from my side is that, of course, George mentioned it already, but this is our strongest asset. Cyprus people, Cyprus shipping people, from working in the administration, but also the people that they trust their ships to Cyprus, the people from the Cyprus Union of Shipowners, the people of the Cyprus Shipping Chamber, and all the shipping community of Cyprus, we do have one thing in common, that we share the same love and strong passion about this sector. And this is the greatest and the most important ingredient for a success for this sector in Cyprus. So join us to ensure a better and brighter future for Cyprus shipping. Thank you very much.
Deputy Minister, I would like to thank you very much for these insightful remarks. I will let George finish. I just wanted to say very quickly, I want to congratulate you for your initiatives, not to be polite, but to recognizing the substance of your efforts, which I think have been recognized by the global community. especially your proposals on crewing have been adopted by the international organizations. You have gotten a lot of acclaim on that, and I am honored that today you made this big announcement about the vaccination of crews in Cyprus as of next week. So thank you for this news breaking announcement. I hope that the media covering the event will treat it appropriately. Again, thank you very much. One thing to say, we have modeled our agenda today to reflect the initiatives that you have put forward in terms of greenhouse emissions, crewing, technology, all these initiatives, we wanted to highlight them. So thank you, congratulations, and kalo kouragio. And George, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Nico. Vasily, I'm sorry I've been referring to you with a Christian name, but I'm always transparent in the way I've known you for years, and I've got tremendous admiration and honor the fact that, I'm honored by the fact that you take such an approach towards this business. I think what you said is, first of all, is you just proved the main issue that you comply with what I call the 3 Ps. Patience, perseverance, and passion. All I can say is that wholeheartedly, you've got all 3 of them. In fact, even more, because you make everybody think out of the box. And it was actually a pleasure to hear you. I think you hit the nail on the head with all the issues which actually concern us. And on that note, I'd like to thank you very much again, and look forward to having a very eventful and very interesting day with all our speakers and presenters. On that note, I'd like to introduce Mr. Pieris Markou, who will be talking on the main topic he's referring to is the attractiveness of shipping as an international maritime center. And I'd like to invite him to the floor to make his presentation. And again, Nico and all the team of Capital Link, thank you very much for organizing this event, which quite frankly, I don't deny the fact that I was a bit, how can I say, unreserved and a little bit nervous about the whole situation, because as you know, I still write with a fountain pen. I'm old fashioned and I'm getting in compliance with new technology. Thank you very much, everybody. And I look forward to hearing Marco. Thank you.
So we will go to the next session. We are closing this one and we're going, as you said, to the next one. Thank you again, George. And let's move on to the next session.